Hello and welcome back. It's Danny, and now we're in chapter 1, which is about vision. So let me open up this page. If you've got your workbook, grab that, and we're going to go through now the concept of vision. So I'm going to walk you through an overview about the program, some questions, and have you spend some time going through those questions, and then we'll come back and I'll give you some ideas together about that. So first of all, if right here on page 13, chapter 1 is vision. We talked a little bit about this in the introduction and the context. So a vision is a plan, a mission statement, and a purpose for life. It is seen in your mind in vivid detail, and your subconscious mind works endlessly to achieve the desired result. Most people tend to envision their future based on the difficulties and fears of the past and present rather than taking an optimistic view of what could be. Sometimes when we get bogged down with life's challenges, we stop daydreaming about what we really want in life. Most of our time is spent figuring out how to handle the obstacles that are glaring us in the face with no time left to plan our desired future. A visionary, on the other hand, spends quality time planning, designing, and thinking about how they want their life to be. The present moment, tasks, and issues have been properly planned for months in advance and only need a few hours each day to be completed. This leaves ample time to pre-plan and develop strategies to leverage the rest of your time and energy, which creates more fulfillment and in your more fulfilling future results. This workbook is all about supporting you in developing your vision, creating a mission statement, and getting clear about your unique purpose. It's about helping you to be who you want to be in the world. So first thing is I'm going to go through these exercises with you. I'm going to explain them, and then we'll pause the video and let you actually do the work. And then we'll come back and talk about that together. So the first one is I want you just from the very beginning, without anything else that we've talked about so far, to take a moment and write out a first draft of your personal mission statement. At the end of this workbook, we're going to write it out again, and we want to see where it started and where it goes. But just from where you are today, write out your personal mission statement. Who are you? Why are you put on the planet? What's important to you? What do you plan to achieve while you're here? Just write down whatever's in your head and your heart and your soul and your mind. And then we're going to come back and look at that over and over throughout the rest of this workbook. Okay, the second thing that I want you to do is it's important when setting goals to consider all areas of your life. This is, again, balance, the idea of being well-rounded. Use this chart to set 3 specific and meaningful goals in each of these 6 areas of your life: spiritual, mental, physical, emotional, financial, and social. So the way I heard this explained years ago is almost like the spokes of a wheel of a bicycle, okay? And if you start in the center of being like 0 and the outside of the spoke being 10, we took these 6 areas and then said, okay, on a scale from 0 to 10, rate yourself. Let's just start with spiritually. People may say spiritually, I'm a 5. Okay, great, 5. And they'll say, well, mentally, they're like, oh yeah, I'm a 7 there. Great. Physically, gosh, I need to do a lot more working out and taking care of myself. I'm a 2 in that area. So what happens is if you go around this and you connect the dots, for most people, if that was the wheel of a bicycle or a car, if it's dun, 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 it's not going to roll very well, right? So the idea of being well-rounded is that we are balanced in pretty much all areas of our life. Not saying we're perfect, not saying that we have it all figured out. It's never going to be that. But the fact is that we are not super strong in one area and then really, really weak in another area, because that doesn't really serve the integrity of who we are. So use this chart to set these 3 specific and meaningful goals. Take some time to do this spiritually. What are your goals? That could be anything like to say, I'm going to do more meditation. Maybe that is you want to be more active in a spiritual community. Maybe that is that you want to read and study more. Whatever it is that's important to you, write those down. Mental. Mental might be things that you do to encourage yourself to think about your mental aptitude, and that maybe you're studying and you're reading, and maybe you are going to coaching and therapy and those types of things. Physical might be from working out and eating healthy and taking care of yourself. Just the idea of being physically fit and emotionally fit as well. So the next one is emotional. What are you doing for yourself emotional? Some of us have more emotions than others. Some of us are more in touch with our emotions than others. But what are some goals emotionally about how you want to actually live your life and be fulfilled in that? And then financial goals. This is the area most people always write goals in. I want to have this much money and have this big house and to travel, and all of that's good. Nothing wrong with that. But it's one of the six, right? Like, it's important, but it's important in the context of everything else that's on this list. And then also social. What are your social goals? Do you want to be more social, less social? Do you want to have more great friends in your life? Do you say, no, I've kind of got the friends that I need at this point? Any of those are fine. Again, there are no right or wrong answers. Remember, again, this exercise is for you. This is for you to be as honest and true as you can possibly be with yourself, and to really look into your heart. So it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. This is your exercise. This is your workbook to really determine inside out, not anybody else's opinions or thoughts about you, but you, who are you? How do you show up? So set your goals based on that. So take some time to do that as well. Again, this might take you an afternoon. This might be something you spend a whole weekend at. So I'm not suggesting that you're going to take a couple of minutes, jot all these down. Really take time to do this. These videos and workbooks, you may spend 6 months to a year going through these videos before you really fully exercise all the things that are here. That's fine. Some of you may want to go faster. Some of you want to take more time to really dig in deeper. Okay. Now let's talk about purpose. So in purpose, here's some questions for you to consider. Number one, I want to be described as a person that blank. And what would you want that to be? I want to be described as a person that cares about other people, a person that respects myself and those around me. I want to be described as a person that is positive, that is happy, that is motivated. I want to be described as a person that people can count on, that's loyal, that's trustworthy. I want to be described as a person that is humble and that believes in the goodness of the whole. Whatever it is that's important to you, write these things down. I do not want to be described as a person that. So that sometimes it's nice to see the opposite. I don't want to be an arrogant person. I don't want to be a selfish person. I don't want to think I'm better than other people. I don't want to be described as a person that is insensitive or really ungrateful. Maybe those things show up for you. Whatever it is for you, again, this is your insight. And when people see me and my family out and about, I want them to say, that family is so blank. So I love this idea, whether your family is you, whether you have a spouse or partner or kids, or I don't know, maybe you got a huge family, right? You want people to say, what are they saying about you when you're walking through the grocery store, when you're at church on Sunday morning, or when you're driving down the road or whatever? They're saying, man, that family fights all the time, or that family is so happy. That family is funny. That family enjoys being together. What do they say? And really, this is not really about them. This is more about the insight and awareness of you understanding what it is that you want to be in the world. And are you in alignment with that? And is that projecting to the world? Another one, and this is that concept of an epitaph, right? So when I die, I want to be known as the person who blank. So, we've all talked about this idea of what would be on your tombstone, right? What would be written about you? What would be said at your funeral? What are you known for, right? And I hope that we don't wait until we die to be known for something. I hope that we live our lives in a way that people would say great things about us every single day of our lives and celebrate that. But again, it does help us to understand that concept. So when I die, I want to be known as a person who blank, who loved other people, as a person who cared about other people, as a person who made the world a better place, as a person who lived and who traveled and who played and who experienced life and who gave back to the world and left it better than they found it, whatever you may want to say there. And then the next one is think about someone you admire who inspires you and write about them. This is a great way to take the focus now off of ourselves and think about somebody else. But what happens is we normally admire in other people the attributes that we really want to see in ourselves. And so think about maybe a best friend, maybe think about a boss, a mentor, a coach, someone that you look up to, a minister, a pastor, a family member, whatever that might be. Think about someone you admire and they inspire you, and then write about them. Write as much as you can about this person, who they are, how they show up in the world, how they actually communicate with people, how they show up for you. What are the things about them that you admire and that inspire you about them? And then the next question is, what insights have you gained about your personal mission statement? So from that very first question about what is your personal mission statement, without really any of the exercises that we're going to do, now what kind of insights are you starting to gain? So hopefully by this point, you have had the opportunity to dig a little deeper and to start saying, okay, I'm actually able to write a little more clearly about who I am. We find in doing these kind of exercises that we've been trained as a society to not be arrogant, to not be haughty, to not be, to think highly of yourselves, those types of things. But sometimes that can translate into self-loathing, and sometimes that can translate into a negative self-esteem or negative self-talk, or not really being clear about who we are, and even not even be able to talk about who we are. I know when I've worked with a lot of people and I say, tell me about your strengths, and they really struggle with that, or tell me about who you are, about your gifts and your talents and your skills. And it's almost like they struggle to really talk positively about themselves. That's really not okay. We need to be better at that as a society, as a civilized society. We need to know not to be arrogant, but we want to own who we are and be positive and be encouraging, and to recognize that we are a gift in the world and we do have value to bring. And it's that value that we're bringing to the world that we want you to be clear about, to own, and be able to share that with the people around us. Okay. So I'm going to pause the video now, take some time, go through these questions, whether you spend a few hours, a day, a week, a month, whatever it is that you need, take the time that you need. And then I'll jump back on with you in the next video, and let's talk about these questions, what you may can do, what you may want to do with some action steps, and then we'll go to chapter 2. Okay, we'll see you in the next video.